Hello, this is Mike with the Apaka Outpost, and I personally would like to create this video for you guys explaining the value of our supply bunkers and how it can benefit you and your family's survival. Because we've created a lot of stuff in our company when it comes to our cargo container homes that we built for preppers, also for Airbnb uses, or any other recreational use you guys may need our cargo container homes for. But there's something this past 3 years that have really concerned me in this company that I really wish to stress a lot more extensively on why you need to have a supply bunker more than anything else that we sell on this website. Because I've seen too many people become victimized by so many disasters throughout the United States because they are not prepared. And not everybody can afford our cargo container homes. Many of them are ranging from $55,000 to over $120,000. Not a lot of people have that kind of money to help prepare yourselves for a disaster. And what are the two most valuable items or utilities that you do need in a time of disaster? That would be water and power. You could survive without electricity, but water is a necessity. You need water for any type of disaster. And I have been realizing this for so many times over and over and over. I hear from many of my customers telling me how they are victimized by a disaster because they do not have water. That's why our water filtration systems that we sell in our program are so highly valuable. I don't know why nobody else offers such a product like this, to have a water filtration system to help you get fresh, clean water when nobody else has it. And so I'm going to give you 4 different scenarios that I've experienced from customers this past 3 years that have drawn a lot of concern to me on why I want you to look into doing this. I'm going to try and find some way to make this as affordable as possible where maybe you can build this yourself. But the thing is, guys, you need a supply bunker. You need water, you need power, and you need food is what you need for a time of disaster. And so some of these examples I like to talk to you about is I have Ryan. He was out of California. I'm not going to be political, guys. I'm here to just talk to you about disasters that have happened and what has happened to these people that became victims of these disasters and why they need these supply bunkers. I just want to make sure you are clear on that. But I'll just say that there was some major riots in Los Angeles, and there was a very big deal where the police never showed up. And with these riots, these animals that were in the strip mall, they blocked off many residents to basically a condo or a bunch of homes that were condos behind this strip mall. My customer, he was basically trapped there for over a week because these stupid rioters, what they were doing is they were blocking people from going in and out to get food. This guy was disabled and he had to have a friend of his go and find food and water and bring it to him by getting around these rioters in Los Angeles. It pissed me off so much when I heard about what happened to this individual, but he ended up buying our supply bunkers, and he is now safe living on 40 acres of land in Arizona because he got away from that disaster, but now he has all the backup water and all the backup power that he needs with the electricity and water. But if you are trapped for basically a week without food supplies, he could run out pretty quickly depending on what you have. He did have water and the power that he needed, but the biggest thing he ran out of was food. But that was one scenario that has happened just recently. And this is the beginning of 2022 right now. So to get you an idea of what riot recently happened, you can use your imagination. I have another customer out of Florida. Florida, this is common. There's hurricanes that happen every single year. There are blackouts that happen in Florida. Even water lines could go out. It depends on what happens to the water company. But what this family has done is that if any of that stuff went out, we built them a supply bunker. But the funny thing is they did not buy my supply bunker until after the disaster happened. This has been very common that people come to us that when a disaster strikes, they then buy a supply bunker later on after they become victimized by something. Wouldn't it be better if you buy something that can save your life before the disaster happens? I believe so. But this family out of Florida, when the hurricane came in, this was a very weird situation. They say what's interesting is that people generally drive away from the disaster in Florida, and people generally know places they can go to in the inland. They can go to friends, family, or other properties that they may own. But when they came back to their home, it was a disaster, unfortunately, and there was no power for a long period of time, and it was a little harder for them to get access to food. Um, but that was after the disaster, and they thought things, because usually it's pretty easy to get back to normal. But because of this disaster, when they drove back, they didn't have as much resources for about a week, they told me. So the thing is, you need to make sure you have the supplies you need, even for 30 days, is what I recommend. And even what they are happy to have the supply bunker for is they have it parked right next to their house. So all they got to do is plug it in, and they can use the power from that supply bunker to run power tools and get fresh drinking water while they are running their home. Now, another scenario that I have from another customer that has been very interesting is Texas. Texas has been a really big example that I really was very shocked on what happened to a lot of people in Texas. Do you guys remember when Texas had that major winter storm that came in, and it froze everything? It froze the windmills, the power plants. Nothing was insulated in that state. That all the plumbing lines broke in many, many houses. I got over 3,000 subscribers in this company, but 7 out of my 3,000 subscribers contacted me out of Texas and said, I have no food and no water, and I need something like today. Unfortunately, I did not have that immediately, except one stock model. And I had one customer that bought one, and we shipped it immediately to them to Texas. But the other 6 individuals in Texas, we could not help them immediately, and they were stuck without water and without food, or they had a little bit of food, but some of them said they had to try and find other places to get it. But also, especially, there was no power in the area as well. But this is another thing that I learned about Texas, guys. About 3 out of the 7 people that called me, they have solar on their roofs. But this is the funny part. Most solar companies, they do not provide a battery backup system, which is rather pathetic. These solar companies, what they do is they only have you tie your electricity or your solar panels to the grid. When everything froze over in Texas and the power plant stopped working, the solar panels were not working to the capacity they wanted on their homes, and they had no backup power. They had no batteries for their homes. So even though they had all these fancy solar panels, and one of them said he spent over $40,000 on his solar panel system on his house, he was still without electricity. I was really dumbfounded about it. And I don't know how these solar kits work from these companies, because I only know my own system, but it's still frustrating. If you're spending $40,000 on something that's supposed to get you electricity when others don't, why are you buying a solar kit that goes into the grid and you're not keeping it for yourself? So those 3 individuals that have solar, they still had power issues, and they did not have water in Texas. Now, not only does Texas have issues, but there was other states that had issues. We had a huge firestorm in Colorado recently. We then also had a major issue with the tornadoes that have swiped into our central states. There's many other disasters that will happen where you will run out of water, you will run out of electricity for a certain time. Would you rather sit down and wait for the government to come and save you, or would you rather take matters into your own hands and make sure that you and your family are safe and secure? And that's why I really highly recommend the supply bunkers to you guys, where you don't have to get a fancy cargo container home like what we build. Get something that will be a necessity for your life, for your safety, is to have something that produces the power and produces the water that you need, so you can be able to keep your house warm, and also so you can be able to keep your family hydrated if there's no fresh drinking water. So, guys, I usually try and make some nicer, fancier videos on our website, but this has become very personal to me. And I really would like to upscale our production, our company, for more supply bunkers to add more safety to people because I believe harder times are going to be coming and there will be more disasters in the future. And we need to be prepared. We need to be able to have all the power water we need, if it be natural disasters, if it be government collapse. It depends on what may happen in the future. But would you rather have a sense of relief knowing that you are prepared? Because for me and my family, if anything happened today, I would not have a care in the world because I know that we are prepared. But are you having that same feeling today? Would you have not a care in the world if you knew that a disaster would happen tomorrow? Again, thank you for watching this video. I like you to look over our layouts for our supply bunkers. We have a variety of different models where we can go very bare minimum, where we can get you just a water filtration system or just a simple solar backup system with our pods that we sell, or we can get a 40-foot container with a very large system where I have two extremely large 2,500 gallon water tanks inside the cargo container. And my customers ask me, why do you put the water tanks inside? Why don't you have big water tanks outside in the yard? I prefer to have water tanks in the containers so they can be able to be insulated. And I just don't want people to see what I have. I rather have all my stuff hidden so people do not know what I'm prepared with. But I just let you know, we personally have this in our own house, but we also have done this for many other families that like to make sure that their supplies are not revealed to anybody else, that you only disclose it to your family. But I hope this video helps you, but please look over our pricing. And also, please contact me if you have any questions. We are going to be adding more and more information as time goes on how we can better help you guys prepare, because my biggest goal from right now in this company is I want you guys to be prepared, and I don't care what it takes, but I really want to help more people be prepared, because I've heard too many stories of people becoming victims, and I do not want you to be a victim. But again, thank you so much, and you have a wonderful day.